Welcome. This is Miami Web Fest, and we are here where Miami Web Fest is the experience of new media in a new way. I'm Ronald Gamble, and I'm one of the board of directors for the festival, and I have the fantastic pleasure to have with us today actress, writer, director, producer. What doesn't she do? The lovely Miss Victoria Vertuga.
You got it. Nice, nice.
Did I get it right?
You got it right. You nailed it.
Excellent.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Well, welcome, Victoria. Now, Victoria, I've already known you are a multi-talented artist.
Thank you.
Experience across multiple mediums, from commercial to theater, magazine, print, movies, TV. It just keeps going on and on. What, in such a diverse ledger, what has caused you to get into the talent and the entertainment business?
Yeah, I've just always been drawn to, I think, the power of stories. I think it's so important, you know, as soon as like the basic needs of food and water and shelter and stuff are met, we turn to art and storytelling. And I think for me and so many people, it's kind of how we make sense of life, right? It's how we make sense of the human experience. So I just love to be able to be a part of that process of storytelling and making people think and laugh and cry and feel and hopefully feel less alone and maybe understand something in a new way or look at something in a new way. I think that's a really amazing thing to be a part of.
That's excellent, because we know as artists, art is about moving people. And when you put your heart into it and your expertise, we get things like Disgraced, which is your new series that's out. And,
yes.
So why the series Disgraced?
Yeah, well, it was born very much from my personal experiences as an actress and as somebody, you know, pursuing a career in this business. Me and my writing partner, Eric, I would always, you know, tell him some of these ridiculous situations that were happening to me in my life and my career. And we just thought this is really kind of fun to mine for a series. It's like, it's there. Some of the stuff, believe it or not, we had to tone down from the real life stuff. It's just so crazy.
Okay, so, now.
Yeah. So what was really funny was to like make a list of just every terrible and ridiculous experience that I'd have. And then when you see it like on a list, you know, on a piece of paper all together, right, you're like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. So then we kind of mined from that, you know, what we thought would be the best to use for the series. So yeah, it was basically just kind of born from my real life experiences.
Excellent. I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
Definitely. What's great is I've had a lot of women, you know, outside of entertainment to relate to certain themes and stuff in it. You know, whether you're an actress or not, you can relate to a lot of the ageism and the sexism and, you know, the people's obsession with the next shiny, bright thing. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. So hopefully people can relate whether they're in the industry or not in the industry.
Well, I could say watching it, I felt for the character. I was holding my stomach. And, you're very good. You are very good and excellent writing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Victoria, now, what are some of the challenges that you experienced, you and your team, in creating this production?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest challenges that we face as indie filmmakers in general is just trying to stretch a dollar, right? That's one of the biggest things, is making sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck, so the production value is good. So always looking at what access you have to locations and what resources you have and what can you do to save a dollar and utilize what you have. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest challenges that we face. We were really lucky, honestly, with this production. Everything went pretty smoothly and we had a fantastic cast and crew and it was so fun. And because what I love about web is like the structure is a little bit more free than other formats compared to like writing a half-hour pilot or hour pilot or a feature. You can kind of play a little bit more each with the format of a webisode. So that was really kind of fun and freeing as a writer. So I really loved that. And that allowed us actually to film like an episode a day. we had like, 6 to 8 pages a day or whatever it was. And it was like a very manageable schedule. So we were very, very fortunate in that way. Funny enough, a couple projects later, the project I filmed last year, a feature, was the opposite. Like we had everything that could have gone wrong really went wrong. Everything. Like I thought it was going to kill me, but I survived. But yeah, Disgraced was actually, it was pretty smooth sailing, especially compared to some other things. So yeah, can't complain too much on that front.
Right. Now, do you feel, Victoria, that the diversity of your talents across wearing multiple hats, how did that help you overcome some of those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I think the great thing about wearing multiple hats, obviously it's more challenging. The more hats you have to wear, the more taxing it is on you as the person doing all the various things. So I think it's really important to surround yourself with a really good team so that people are doing what they're supposed to do, doing their job, doing it well, that you communicate well with. But the great thing about wearing all those hats for me is that the more I learn about everything, the better it makes me at whatever it is that I'm doing. So writing made me a better actress without a doubt. Directing made me a better writer. When you're part of the editing process, it makes you a better director. So the more you understand about the entire concept and all the steps of filmmaking and creating in that way, the better you are, the more of an informed collaborator, the more of like an empathetic collaborator you are. So I think it just really kind of solidifies, you're aware of everything and every step and what's needed so that you can do your job really effectively, whatever it is. So I think it's great. I love that piece of it. It's been such a really awesome educational experience for me. So it's like, even if I don't want to do that piece of it one day or whatever, it makes me better at whatever piece of it I am doing.
I would think it seems like it helps when you have all these multiple pieces, knowing the edges of each of them.
Yes.
More of a seamless continuity of talent.
Definitely.
And efficiency, production quality.
Totally. Yeah. Because I think you obviously know from the beginning where you're going, right? So like you're writing it, knowing you're going to produce it. So you're writing it with that in mind. So you're very aware of like keeping the costs low in terms of what you're writing and what you're asking for in your script. And then, when you're directing it, you're very aware of what you want the final piece to look like. So yeah, definitely. It helps with the through line of things, and it helps kind of, you're aware of like where you're going and how you need to get there. Right.
Right. Well, we're certainly happy that you've multitasked yourself and hopefully not too stressed, but we're reaping the benefits from.
Love it. I love it. I'm addicted to collecting hyphens, I'm like, give me all the hyphens, more hyphens.
Right, hyphens. Well, now your series is one of our selections in the Miami Web Fest. And, what message do you want your viewers and other creators to get from your episode, Once Beautiful?
Yeah, so we're definitely, poking fun at the sexism and the ageism and whatever in Hollywood, but I think it's also in its way, the series as a whole especially is really kind of about taking control of your own narrative and not letting people define you or put you in boxes, really being the owner of your own path and being an empowered person in your life and not just letting things happen to you, but choosing what happens. So I think that's a really important lesson for all of us, especially as creators as well. I think this is an industry where people so frequently get typecast or get looked at in a certain way, and it can be really kind of frustrating to feel unempowered in your own career and the way that people are looking at you. So I think it's really a story about empowerment,
Excellent. Well, I think it was a very powerful piece.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, following that, what other powerful pieces do you have lined up? Because I know you have more in store in that production team of yours.
Yes, I don't sit still very well. So always things brewing. I always say relaxing isn't relaxing to me. So I actually have my feature directorial debut is called Lexi. It's a horror thriller mystery that's actually available right now on VOD, on Tubi, more platforms coming soon. So that you guys can check that out. Lots of satire in there. So if you appreciate the satire from Disgraced, you'll probably enjoy some pieces of that. It's not gory. It's not that kind of a horror film. So don't worry if you're afraid of blood. But then we do have a gory one coming. So then the film that I said where everything went wrong, fortunately it doesn't look that way. It looks amazing. So we are in the final phases of post-production on that. We should have like the picture totally locked within the next couple of weeks, and then we will TBD on what we'll do with that, but that should be out soonish depending on what route we choose to go and what options are available to us. So that's another horror film called Cold Blows the Wind.
Repeat that again.
Sorry, it's called Cold Blows the Wind. And I'm in that with Jamie Bernadette, who's a big icon in the horror industry. It's a great project. So that'll be out soon too. So yeah, and then I'm always writing, always working on things, always have the next stuff in the pipeline. So
right. As I know, as a writer, it's like you can't turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I feel like when you're a creative and you really have that desire to create, it's like maybe the way you create changes in terms of like what format what genre you're working in or whatever, but like that need to create is always going to be there, right? Like it's got to come out one way or another, it's coming out. Yeah.
Right. Well, Victoria, thank you so much. Before, please let our viewers know, where can they keep in touch with you? How can they keep up with all the great things that you're doing?
Yeah, so my handle is just my name on all the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So just at Victoria Vertuga. Find me. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're glad. Miami Web Fest is glad that we found you.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Thank you for having me.
So many others enjoying your content and your future projects. And also go check out Victoria's previous projects too. And she has, trust me, she has an extensive ledger of good things that she's been doing. So there's a lot to keep you busy. Victoria Vertuga experience.
Love it. When you run out of Netflix, come on over. When you usually can.
Well, the Miami Web Fest is September 29th through October 2nd in Miami Beach, the beautiful Miami Beach. So come down, experience content like from Victoria Vertuga, Disgraced, and other amazing content during a fantastic weekend of celebrations. So again, thank you so much, Victoria Vertuga.
Thanks for having me.
Disgraced and her episode, Once Beautiful Woman. And of course, we know that you are not just once, but continuously beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. This is Miami Web Fest. I'm Ronald S. Gamble, one of the board members. We look forward to seeing you in Miami. Thank you.